Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. We got plenty more projects on the way. So we're going to pick up where we left off in the last video. We got all the turbo, the manifold back together, but we left the front off because we wanted to check for leaks. And it turned out quite a few of you reached out. The oil feed pipe is actually no good. It was leaking on the top of the turbo. We have been doing a bit of research, not research, more searching for one. Chris got straight on the internet, I got on the internet when I got home. There's quite a lot of copies out there. The main dealer, it was about £60. A lot of people said go for Braided. So what I've actually done, I've left it a bit late. I completely forgot about it, got onto another project and kind of left us in the lurch here. We're ready to get on with this car today and we haven't got an oil feed pipe. So I'm going to head straight down to our local pipe place and see if he can make me up a braided line for it. Fingers crossed he can, and then we can crack on, get this car back together. Let's get on with it.
And you know, these are metric banjos, so oops, I'll put the fitting in there.
How much pressure is that pushing on that?
A lot. I don't know exactly what the pressure is.
That's a very technical term, that is a lot.
Well, if you put a piece of steel in there and it's crushing it,
yeah,
it's a lot. So I'm going to take that down just a little bit more. Good morning, London Hose. Hello, mate. Sorry, I'm just making a hose up at the moment, so how you doing? Right, can you give Jane a ring? Sorry, I can't do it at the moment, so I'm trying to do a hose. That's the trouble with these, they're loose, you see.
Yeah,
so,
that's about
so
90.
One upright, one
that's it.
Flat, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, speak to you later, John. My engineer's on Milton Keynes at the moment. It's going to be a bastard, this one. That's the trouble with this, it's very fiddly stuff, this.
And that's it, job's done. That's that new braided line all fitted, and it did fit really, really well. So I'm going to get Chris to fire it up. Just make sure we've got no leaks up here. Sorry, pointing in the wrong direction. No leaks up here and no leaks down the bottom. Go on, mate. Yeah, it looks good, mate. Yeah, cut it there. Just quickly, before we do move on to fitting the car back up, I did want to mention, sometimes we do film on different cameras and I have to piece it all together at the end of the day. And I actually missed a vital part of this build. And you guys did tell me in the comment section, and that was about the head gasket and head bolts. So I've trailed through, I've found that piece of video, and I'm going to include that now, and then we'll crack on. So getting very, very close now to starting the process of building this engine back up. As you can see, the new head gasket is laying on there. Chris found these couple of bits of thread bar, the exact same size as the bolts, and he's wound those in there. And we're just going to use those as a guide so that when that head goes down onto the block there, it's perfect. It's going to be lined up, bang on, and there's going to be no movement in it. All of the holes, all of the threads, they've all been blown out and they're now all clean. That is very, very important, because if it's half full of oil and you start winding the bolt down, it can't compress. You think that it's tightened up and it's not, and that can cause major problems. So just making sure everything's clean and really nice is giving you a lot better chance. So let's start the process of getting that cylinder head fitted back on there and getting it torqued back down. We're quite happy now, we've got everything laid out. Let's get this little car put back together. getting stuck in, but very, very difficult to get these two water hoses back on. Chris had to pinch them up while I had to put a bit of WD around them, and I was trying to get it on there because he's got to hold it open as far as it'll go just to get the pipe back over the end of the union there. So we managed to do it. They're both back on now. We're going to carry on. Just got to go round, plumb everything back up. Had to locate what way the pipe went round because it did fall out of the front panel when I was taking it apart, but fortunately that's all back there now. The horns, the hooters are plugged in. We've got side lights here, air temperature and daytime running lights. I think actually there might be indicators down here, but let's move on, get the rest of it put together. All back together, quite straightforward. I took it apart, so it was quite straightforward to put it back together. Guys, just while I am facing this way, I've noticed in the background the old Land Rover Discovery. Quite a lot of you reach out to me about that. That's actually not for sale and it's not a breaker. Chris actually does, believe it or not, use that round the farm as and when he does need to. So that is just purely a farm vehicle and he's had it for at least 15 years. But the little Mini, all back together now. We've got to put we've got to break the rest of the lockers off and put some wheel nuts in it. Apart from that, it's all back together. Let's jump in it and start it up. I've got a code reader plugged into it at the moment because as soon as I started it up earlier, I did see we have still got an engine management light on, but as you can hear, sounds perfect. Very, very quiet. I just popped out and Chris has put that back seat all back in and bolted that down. It does need a really good clean, but we're quite happy with it. We're going to go through, make sure there's no coolant leaks, put some wheel bolts in it, just go through, just double check everything, and then we'll get it out on the road for a road test and then do a code read on it again. It has been sat for quite some time, so let's do that. It's a little bit windy, so hopefully we don't catch a gust of wind noise. So I took the little car home last night, give it a bit of a road test. Sorry, the engine management light, we did pop the bonnet and I plugged it in and it kept coming up, fuel pressure circuit open. So basically went in there and it wasn't quite clicked all the way home. As soon as you heard that click, I cleared the codes, they didn't come back on. So I run it home last night, give it a bit of a road test, and I chucked it on the drive. Chris was here doing something else that you're going to see very soon, and I've given it a wash, just given it a chamois off and gone round, put the bumper gel all over the grills and bumpers. I will stick a link for that bumper gel in the description because people do keep asking, but I've just run it over for an MOT as well and it's past the MOT. All four tyres on it are like new and it did drive very, very nice, so I didn't really have any worries. Sorry, let me get out of that wind. Hopefully there's not loads of wind noise there. So it has turned out to be a really, really nice little car. I'll run the hoover around inside it as well, give it a bit of silicone on the dash, and it has come up really, really nice. We're quite happy. Of course, it is quite an old car. It's got like a wear mark there, but that's not something we're going to get involved in and start changing. We're really, really happy with it. And like I say, nice New Year's MOT. So, the last bit, let's get inside and crunch the numbers. The most important part, was it worth doing? So the little Mini Cooper S, a friend of mine, an actual car dealer, will pretty much take anything in Part X, and I think they all will. and he rung me and said that that car was coming in, and he allowed them £500 in part exchange. Of course, I gave him a drink on it. We give £700 for that car, and it had a misfire. He didn't even research it. I've spoken to him. So it could have been a cheap fix. We didn't know that we was going to have to go down that road, and that is the roll of the dice that we take every day. We took it on that car, and do you know what? If he rung me now and said it, we'd be straight round there doing it exactly the same and buying another one again. So we give him £700, a couple of £100 profit for him. The two valves that we bought for it were £38. The valve stem oil seals were £40. Head gasket, £48, and the head bolts were £42. The timing chain kit with the sprockets was, well, pretty much, yeah, that did kill it for us. £243 for that kit. They do cheaper Chinese ones, but who wants to fit that on a car and then sell it to somebody? Oil and filter, £41. Plugs was very expensive, again, because of what they are, £48. MOT that I just took it for was £40. I had to put £20 worth of fuel in it because the red light was on, it wasn't even showing 1 mile. And that was to just take it for a road test and then MOT. The transport costs, I know you all like me to keep adding it on here, £25. So we got a total for that car, £1,285. Ultimately, was it worth it? By the time we take out our time we spent on it, the overheads for the workshop, probably not. But I don't think we've lost any money. And I know all of you have really enjoyed that build. You've showed it in every single video, in all of the comments. So thank you everybody that got involved with the build of that car. So again, like I normally do you know, I wish I did take some screenshots, but I've just been through eBay. 2007 R56 Mini Cooper S. Cheapest and the cheapest first. So that's come up, I've trailed through, and there's actually one on there that's done 97,000 miles. It's on eBay now, and it's up for 2,695. So I think it's fair that we ask 1995 for that car. It's cheaper than everybody else. You all know what we've put into it. New head gasket, new timing chain, etc, etc. So 1995, yeah, we've probably just about broke even, but it's been great content, and like I said, a lot of you have really enjoyed it and got involved. And now it is done and out of the door, it gives us an opportunity to move on to something else. So that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you all again for watching. If you do enjoy it, please do give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it, and it shows your appreciation. Check out the merchandise, the link is in the description. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you later in the week for the next one.